What's going on, MSFers? Duelim here, back here with another video, and today we've got Oath. That's right, Oath is finally coming out, the second of the 3 new characters for the Night Stalker. So she is Hero, City, Mystic, Controller, Vampire as well. Oath is going to be the character that we all voted on, the storyline-wise. So this is Karen Page, and Morbius was the one who kind of mentored her, so that's where the wings come from, the powers, stuff like that. So getting into the speed, she is 126 speed, so pretty quick, but she also has that 5% turn meter for first turn on spawn, so kind of that Kang and Cable mechanic. But then also when Man-Thing comes out, Man-Thing gives 20% to the whole team, and that is during the entire battle. So she's going to be really, really fast. So let's get into the kit here. Sanguine Strike. So here is just a piercing to primary target, applying bleeds. The basic is also what's going to apply exposed as well. And you'll see the T4 gives 100% chance to apply exposed. And then when you're forced to attack an ally, this character does not apply exposed or any negative effects to Night Stalker characters, which is really, really cool. I like that little call out. And then this attack cannot be counter-attacked or dodged. And then it's just more piercing, more piercing. Then you get some heal block. And then the T4 is going to be always applying exposed. And I think this is a no-brainer because the exposed mechanic is really good. We'll talk about what it does in the passive. But it's really, really good. It's kind of akin to Thanos Endgame with his being able to clear Safeguard and like other positive effects and stuff like that. So I think this is a no-brainer T4, honestly, because you want to make sure you're not relying on RNG to get that exposed mechanic out. As for the special blood charge, we have steal 10% health from primary target and redistribute to self. This bypasses heal block, which is pretty nuts. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 60% piercing. It also cannot be dodged. More piercing, more piercing, more piercing, and apply bleeds. And then you steal an additional 10% health. So this is going to be 20% health outside of raids. And then it's also applying ability block, and it's more piercing. And then in raids, it turns into 40% health from primary target, and you're applying more bleeds. And then the T4 is going to be 50% piercing to primary and secondary targets and apply ability block for 2 turns. I think ability block is still only to the primary target, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's still only to the primary target. And then apply heal block to primary and adjacent. This is a no-brainer T4 as well. Applying heal block to primary and adjacent is really good. Also, piercing to everybody for damage-wise is really good. And then ability block for 2 turns is also really, really, really nice. I think this is a really, really good T4 to have. So this one's kind of a no-brainer as well, in my opinion. That's 2 for 2 so far. Next up is the ult Cardiac Assault. I don't know why she's giving people a heart attack, but yeah. Attack all enemies for 100% piercing. Also applying exposed to the primary target. So the other way you can apply exposed, this attack gains 20% damage against enemies with Safeguard. So looking at you, Gladiator, and that Mystic Raid Node 2 and 3. This attack cannot be blocked, counterattacked, or dodged. And then it's extra piercing, apply bleeds. In raids, apply bleed to all enemies. More piercing, more bleeds, even more bleeds in raids. Apply heal block. In raids, apply heal block to everybody. And then in raids, you get apply additional bleed and trauma to primary target. And then in raids, apply 3 bleed and trauma to all other enemies. This is absolutely another essential T4. Just outside of raids, more piercing, more damage. Inside raids, apply an additional bleed, trauma to primary target. And then an additional bleed and trauma to all other enemies. So putting trauma on 6 characters, actually every character, because this is attacking everybody. So this one's really, really, really good to have. Also, and the cannot be blocked, counterattacked, or dodged is really nice too. So even at low star levels, you're not going to get your Oath killed from all the counterattacks, which is really, really nice. This is another essential T4, 3 for 3. And guess what? For passives, what do we always have to do? All right, so for her passive, it's a book. On this character, any turns Night Stalker allies turn end attack the most injured enemy with exposed for 80% piercing. And then this is akin to the Thanos Endgame ult or passive, where it's reducing all positive effects by 1. So this is going to be taking out the Safeguard. In raids, on enemy death, feel speed bar by 25% for self and all Night Stalker allies. So that's kind of like a vulture passive, when the scavenger passive, when enemies die or allies die, you get that speed bar, but it's for the entire team, which is pretty awesome. On spawn, generate 6 ability energy, which I think is full ability energy for everybody on spawn, so I don't think you have to worry about cooldowns. So simming with Night Stalkers is going to be extremely easy, even at low star levels. On enemy controller turn, apply safeguard to self and all Night Stalker allies. So that's going to be kind of like Teen Loki passive, where if a hero Cosmic takes a turn, like Icarus or Kestrel, he gives safeguard to his whole team. So that's really nice. And then it's just more piercing, and it's also generate 1 ability energy for self and all Night Stalker allies who are not on full. So that's really nice. So that's just giving energy. She's the battery of the team. More piercing in raids if the character or any Night Stalker allies turn end. Copy and clear 2 random negative effects from self and all Night Stalker allies to the most injured enemy with exposed. So she's also putting more negative effects on them after taking their safeguard, immunity, defense up, everything like that. And she's also clearing stuff off of your Night Stalker allies, which is really, really nice. And you don't have to hit the exposed to make this happen either, which is really cool. So you don't have to like focus that one character with exposed like you do with like Vol, with a Thanos Endgame and stuff like that. So it's just a passive that ends up hitting as long as somebody on the field has exposed, to my knowledge. And then the T4 is going to be absolutely essential on spawn, on offense. Fill speed bar by 5% for self and all allies. So again, this is the Kang, this is the Cable passive on a new character with new stats. So this is absolutely an essential T4. So this is going to give her some plug-and-play ability before the full team comes out, before you want to use them all together. Especially on offense, this is going to make mirror matchups really nice. So if you want to keep them for offense, because I know a lot of people are putting that Agatha, MLF, Moon Knight, Blade on defense, you could definitely use them on offense, and they're going to start getting a lot better now with Karen Page, Oath coming out. This, unfortunately, is going to be another T4, so honestly, every single T4 is really good. I think the only ones that you could argue that might be only recommended instead of essential is possibly the ult and maybe the special, but I think that 2-turn ability block is going to be great. And I think putting trauma on every single person in raids is going to be near essential. And more bleeds and all that. I think it's just going to be, it's going to be a needed T4. As for ISO 8, we're going to go to the team and show the full team here. So we do have Agatha. I have a striker here, but Agatha's a raider. Moon Knight is a raider. Guess what? Oath is probably a raider as well, especially because you're going to T4 her basic, and then it doesn't do anything else negative effects-wise, speed-wise, anything like that. So she's not going to be striker. Oath is going to end up being a raider as well because her special hits primary and adjacent. Her ult hits everybody. So she's absolutely going to be a raider. Blade is obviously a striker. We already talked about that as well. So that striker combo, Blade's going to be hitting into those all the time, which is incredible. So Oath is without a doubt a raider. And she's a really good character, honestly. She's going to make this team possibly do Mystic raids without Man-Thing. Possibly. I don't know. Nor do I care, because I have Odin now. Plus, I'm not going to buy Oath, and I did not buy Blade. I only buy characters when people buy them for me, even though people think that's not true, but it is. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, this has been Doolum. Later, MSFers.